This is TWiT.
Most of the apps that I use are content creator based, and you typically just download them once and you don't really bounce around too often. So one of mine is Lapse It Pro in particular. I originally had the free version, but I ended up going to the paid version. I think the paid version is now $3, I believe, something like that. Hopefully I can show this properly. But this is a time-lapse application. Yeah, you have a lot of time-lapse features involved in some of the camera apps, native camera apps on phones today, but I've always enjoyed using this because of the extra features that are built in, as far as taking care of how many frames per second and the resolution and so forth. Now, back on this main screen, you have this settings option, and it's pretty granular. But I've found that I hardly ever have to use this because once you render something, it allows you to do additional settings within it. Let me go to it here because this is what I shot yesterday, actually. But when you go into the render settings, you can still add even more.
Maybe. So let's see here. I'm trying to see here. It's a little out of focus or something. Or maybe the brightness. Is it too bright?
Probably too bright, maybe. Hold on. We can fix that.
Yeah, it's like the focus point is a little strange too on the camera overhead. See if you can pull it towards you a little bit. I'm just looking on the screen to see if we can get it here. You know what? I'm going to adjust it. Give me a second. I can do this. I used to work in the studio. Let's see here.
You're also very tall.
There we go. Yeah, now we got it. That's beautiful.
Okay. That work?
All right. And now I just got to make sure I keep it out of the light. No.
Yeah.
I know.
Still
Welcome
too
to the
bright?
studio.
Okay, so I turn the brightness back down.
Oof.
There we go.
Just
there.
Okay.
And move all of my notifications. All right, but yeah, once you get into the render settings of your time lapse, it gives you a bunch of different options as far as the formatting and changing the frames per second, and it has an additional.
Sorry.
Dang it! I keep moving. Sorry.
I know, it's all good.
And then they have. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
But it has another render engine in there that you can use if you have a pretty powerful smartphone, which most of them are nowadays. And it just outputs it to a regular folder, and you can share it where have you, whether it's social media or just put it up on your YouTube or whatever. But it's pretty straightforward. You can trim it down to make it shorter if you want. Dang, there. Sorry.
The light is just
it's a
pain in the studio. Yeah,
different effects. I never use the effects. The music that's been available has been royalty free, but I never use the music. I always like to use my own if I'm going to put it up and post somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a really slick interface and really easy to use. And depending on your phone, you can get really nice output. This was published yesterday on my Instagram stories, I believe, and it looked pretty good. Just as slick as using a DSLR. I actually set this up on a tripod yesterday at the house and changed the zoom and so forth, and the resolution came out really, really well.
Nice.
But that's Lapse It. You can get it for free, or you can get the pro version, which uses the additional renderer, and I think it's $3. I can't remember because I bought it so long ago, but I think it's $3.
Paid for itself at this point if you bought it that long ago.
It has.
Lapse
It
Pro.